Yeah, he is actually pretty fair these days. I know certain people in the community will crucify me just for saying it, but I think Aphelios is fair. I think if you lose to Aphelios, it's because he was better than you, and that is just something you have to deal with. And heading into game, we are onto the rift for game 1 of Cerberus taking on Team Secret.
One thing I want...
Cassante... Oh, you go ahead.
One thing I just want to point out immediately before we go into the bot lane skirmishes, no one is heal. So double cleanse in bot lane means lower HP total between the two champions, which means much more volatile early trading. Level 1 Flash E from Ron P, for example, could lead to something like an early kill because there's not the extra safety of the heal. So just something to keep your eyes on. Of course, in the late game, cleanse is almost always better than heal, but in the early laning phase, heal can really make a difference.
It's a very good point. I was going to say Cassante is a champion I still haven't seen a huge amount of, so I'm curious to see what Pun can do on it. It seems like a champion that really suits him, just a big tanky boy.
Do yourself a favor and go back and watch Nagia on Cassante, because that dude on Cassante was the most insane performance I've ever seen. He just solo killed 50,000 times. Yeah, he is the Cassante player. Let's see if Pun can be close to Nagia's proficiency on this champion.
Yeah, we'll have to see. As early shove does go Cerberus' way in the bottom side. Kind of surprising. The level 1 in the lovers lane is actually quite strong.
Yeah, the Aphelios doesn't have an ability level 1, so certainly looks like a little bit of a misplay. I would assume you could just double W.
I mean, taking Q at level 1 for Eddie is already a sign that something went wrong.
Yeah, double W is usually really strong with the added bonus to both champions to make them super strong together. But yeah, they lose the early push into Artemis Ronapi, and this will now mean level 2 Aphelios can fight back. The priority in bot lane should be secured for a while now for Cerberus.
Yeah, we do see Pun doing well, landing those Natofo strikes. Managing to get some damage onto Hero, but of course it is kind of just tickles back and forth for both sides at the moment.
Oh,
he's doing a good job, though. Just really keeping up that harass.
Missed the cannon, though. This chroma is quite cool. I like the purple. Nice on the eye. As Yado is actually pushing in early on, using a lot of mana. As you can see, he started with Corrupting Pot just to instantly burn through all his mana, get through the early levels, because Talia before level 9 is maybe 60% of a champion. It's not great. Then it gets much, much better once you max out that Q. So just really trading early potion stacks against push, which is nice, because now level 4, he made his way back into the into his base, got the tier early on, so now he should be able to poke much more easily, shove much more easily. So I like this early execution from Yado. Very non-interactive, but yeah, he played his champion exactly how it's supposed to be played.
Yeah, he did really well there. An engage from Juhao comes in. Rono-P diffuses most of it, but Artemis has still taken a lot of damage. So that early push has ping-ponged back to be in favor of Team Secret now.
That interaction makes me very curious about the rest of the lane, because Rono-P flaked him out of his W, but the W still used the knock-up effect afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting, because that doesn't happen into some of the other support champions. I know Nautilus just cuts out the knock-up effect instantly, but it seems like Thresh doesn't do that.
It depends when it hits him. It depends when it hits Rakan. He had kind of already put like one hand on the ground, which means it can't be cancelled anymore.
Okay.
If you get him while he's like flying, it'll cancel it completely. But because Flay has that little wind up, it's a little bit harder to time than something like a Nautilus hook.
That makes the matchup much more interesting than I thought it would be. I thought Thresh had the upper hand there, countering the engaged, but if that's the interaction, that is a little bit more risky for Artemis and Rono-P to play. And as you pointed out, honestly, in every Zarya lane, at some point Zarya's going to shove, because her passive feathers piercing through all the minions. It's just more shove than any other ADC can bring. Maybe Tristana can compete, but yeah, Zarya now getting the better recall. Artemis has to push another wave. Now with Flamethrower, that should be really easy.
That's pretty easy, yep.
There we go. So both just executed minions left, right, and center, and a quiet early game. 5 minutes, nothing has happened.
Yeah, it is just chill. Let's talk about this jungle for a second, because Cerberus has also been having some jungle swaps. Drakthar is on the Rift, playing the Viego. What do you think about that decision?
So, to me, after watching Cerberus interact with their junglers a little bit more, it seems like Drakthar is still firmly the number one jungler, the main jungler, because they only played Ego in the 2 games against Box. And honestly, counting Box games for serious player swaps isn't really something you should do. Everyone knows Box is not on the level as all the other teams. You can kind of just test out some stuff against Box because they're just not good enough to compete right now, unfortunately. So I feel like for now we have to say that Drakthar is the starting jungler, and he has had really good results and really good performances in the last few weeks. So I don't fault them for going Drakthar. I feel like Ego's ceiling is probably still much higher, but as long as Drakthar is gelling with the team and executing his or performing well on stage, sure.
I mean, I still just think it's a bit of a tragedy that those 2 players are on the same team.
Oh yeah, look at Secret. Secret would pay anything to get either of those players.
Yeah, can you imagine if Secret? I mean, Secret getting Ego, like Eddie might be killed. I mean, like Ego is such a big just what if. Like, if that guy can just get his head screwed on straight, he could legitimately be like one of those players that goes to the LPL and is like SOM.
Yeah, I mean, he could be the next big jungler in line, right? We didn't really have, we haven't had that huge breakout jungler. We have a lot of good junglers. Jungler is one of the most stacked positions and has always been in VCS, but we haven't had the next jungler in line since SOFM to Levi, and now we were thinking Ego, we were thinking BJ maybe, but no one has really broken through. But Ego has actually beaten Levi. He's the only one. Okay, I guess, Ego was actually the one on both teams that beat Levi. So I guess Egen, but Egen was kind of old guard and flashed that one split. So BJ hasn't done it. And yeah, that always makes Ego interesting. But maybe Drakthar can actually step up to be that one, because so far his performance has looked good enough to maybe even contest against Gun.
It's very possible, as he will, as we talk about it, steal away a blue buff. Doing well there, denying a little bit from Sorn. Sorn as well, another interesting jungler. I didn't think he was allowed to play yet, but apparently got proven wrong last week that he absolutely is. Another one in Team Secret's just stable of junglers. This is a jungler you and I used to rant and rave about.
I love this jungler. This was my first favorite player of the league. Okay, I'm a caster. I shouldn't have played favorite players, but obviously, if you watch every game, you always have favorite players. And back in 2019, we cast every single game, so we actually watched every...
I still can't believe we did that.
We actually watched every game Sorn played. So for a very long time, he was my favorite jungler. Especially in spring and summer 2019. With his Nidalee performances, I absolutely loved him on those aggressive junglers, but that's now 4 years ago. He doesn't really bring the edge anymore. I don't think he has the mechanical difference between him and other junglers to do the same things. We have so many good new junglers that weren't in the league back then, right? We have Killer Queen, we have Drakthar, we have... Levi is still super good. So the competition has gotten even stiffer, and he has gotten older. He has... Maybe his hands haven't quite held up.
Yeah, at that decrepit, ancient, disgusting age of 24.
Hey, 24 for VCS player is really old.
That's like positively decrepit. I agree. There was a gank attempt in the top side. It doesn't quite work out. Flash for Ghost traded. Pun will take that. Short of cooldown on his summoner, of course. Didn't use his all out either. Just didn't have the good chance to drag Hero back, evidently.
And I'm kind of missing Gum against SPTC right now, because we're 10 minutes in and absolutely nothing has happened.
Need somebody to hit somebody, I agree. It's all even in the lanes as well. Very slight differences. Sorn is here, but Drakthar close enough to reinforce, but there is a big old gank squad. Oh, he was standing
He might still die.
It might not matter, though. They catch on to him, and he will go down. First blood goes over to the Rakan, and oh no, here's Viego. The resets are coming, and he's out of there.
Nicely done from Drakthar. Actually, really good Azir play.
Really nice.
Yeah. Oh, he still has some soldiers to defend his tower, but it's a bit risky. Let's see what
There is
Secret
a
can
Herald
do.
as well.
It's probably just some gold split, but why have they transitioned everyone into mid lane? Look at bot lane, and meanwhile, that Aphelios is dangerously close, and Eddie...
Oh, Eddie caught! Has to burn that cleanse. How many tower plates has he gotten in the bot side?
We need to see that. I think it wasn't the correct decision to keep the bot lane into mid. You should have instantly... Yeah, that was a really unfortunate one. But he buys enough time to actually give this kill over to Druktha, and then Druktha ults back to reset and buys so much time. Really nicely done, Druktha. It wasn't an insane mechanical play, but he does have the awareness to figure out how to walk away. And it's just a 1-for-1 in kills, and look at that tower. That's down to 2 plates. So Aphelios just got funneled 3 plates for free.
Overall, I think that's actually a pretty big win for Cerberus. The gold is just in such better places. Like, yes, First Blood is more gold, but it went on to Zhuhao. It went on to the Rakan compared to a Viego and Artemis getting 3 plates. I think you take that trade every day of the week.
Absolutely. Oh, Hero might have a solo kill angle here. Oh,
nah, he doesn't have... He's exhausted. I don't think he can do it. He can't risk getting dragged under tower from the all-out.
Yeah, that's true. I still have to adjust to this champion. He dashes so many times and does so many weird things, so it's a bit dangerous to play against him, but the next dragon's coming up in 30 seconds.
Finally figured out how to make people play tanks. Make them fun. Took them 10 years, but they made a tank that has a fun kit.
I really like K'Sante. I think they really hit K'Sante. K'Sante, I mean, okay, he came out OP, and a lot of people are still on the train of, oh, he's so OP, he dashes so many times. Fair enough. That's always a little bit of the problem. As we have a catch.
Oh, a good catch there onto Sword. He dashes away, but gets immediately pulled back. And that's another kill now for Drakthar. That'll be a dragon for Cerberus. They move up to 2. Lovely, lovely team play.
Chef's kiss from Ayado's execution there. Held the W, didn't use the W at the start, waited for Sedrani to dash into his pebbles, and then used the W to put him back. Just beautiful execution. Another kill for Druktha. We talked about Druktha against Ego, and if Druktha plays like this on one of his best champions, to be fair, then why would you put an Ego? You have a great jungler.
Yeah, it's very true. And look at this lovely knockback. Just reads it perfectly. Bang.
Yep. I mean, Thorn was probably dead either way, but just beautiful execution. Good to see. Dragon went over to Cerberus as well, and they're playing such a comfortable game. It's very slow, it's very steady, no risks taken, just steady laning performances. They're not the most explosive team. I think this is one of the biggest differences between Artemis and Shogun. Artemis and Dronopi are very good bot lane. They can stand up to everyone, but they usually don't play that hard for to win lanes, while Taki and Shogun play much, much harder to win lanes and really push home their advantages early game. Artemis usually goes even in CS, maybe a bit ahead, gets platings, and just scales very comfortably, so he's a little bit more mature in terms of how he plays lane, but I think Taki and Shogun together are probably the better bot lane. Jury is out who of the two is the better ADC right now. I think it's gonna be a cool split to watch for ADC performances. But if you look at all the gold, if you look at how Cerberus is doing in this game, they have the gold in exactly the right positions, jungle and ADC. They're scaling up into the Dragon Snowball, and it's not looking like a stomp, but it's looking super comfortable.
Yeah, it's looking like Cerberus are just controlling the pace of play at the moment, and I think that's where they're very happy. They've got a Viego getting ahead. I was a little bit sus on the Viego pick. I know you're saying that, oh, it's coming back. I still don't 100% believe you. I think the VCS just love Viego.
What is going on here?
The wall's been built. Not the best execution there.
Just a quick little somersault on top of Eddie. Eddie's like, why is there Talia on my hat? Hello? Talia?
I just spook at him.
No one was hitting anyone, and Eddie just walks away with all the summoners and ultimate available, but yeah, why not? Just search for the angle. Maybe you get him another day. That interaction showed where...
Okay, Artemis, just building some chakrams.
Artemis is burning through his weapons very quickly, which is rather interesting. They
2
might,
minutes before Dragon.
yeah, they might concede this objective. Or no, the call is coming and they want to contest. The Herald is the fighting option.
Yeah, they're going to move forward. I think with that TP, with that catch, they've got no chance, though. Rono P, he has to go gold early. Can he flash away? He can. Ooh, Drakthar heartbreaks over the wall, but gets stunned anyway. Hero bearing down on him. Eddie in trouble. There's a kill coming forward. Yado buying space. Cerberus, I think that was just a bit misguided there.
Yeah, Pun wasn't even there. He just sprinted up, literally activated Ghost to run to his team, just to see everyone else running away. He's a bit angry with the team call, probably, investing his summoner spell and just walking up while the rest of his team walked away. Cerberus kind of got away with more people than they should have. It's only 1 kill on Ronopi. Drakthar somehow skittles away from this fight. Look at how low he got at the start of the fight, but Hero doesn't quite have the damage to execute him. Oh, another flash from Thorn, so close to killing Drakthar. That's flash from both topside players for the dragon fight coming up. So once again, we might have seen a little bit of an over-aggression in terms of flash usage when Dragon is on the menu in just about a minute.
Possibly, but at the same time, they still do get that second Herald. They can use that to drop it in mid just before the Dragon to buy themselves the entry to the river. Let's see how they want to play it out. At the moment, Vision is in control of Cerberus on that side of the map, but we're still that minute away.
Yeah, and while the game felt in Cerberus' control, it's actually Secret with a minor gold lead, and all their items are coming together, so if they can execute in team fights, then they are in a really good position to win the game too. We are just live in this world where we've seen so much of the Cerberus team that we know that team fighting can make up for quite a bit of gold deficit, so we expect them to win, but honestly, Secret hasn't been a bad team fighting team either, so maybe they can actually show us a good performance in this mid game and get out of this downward spiral with their jungle position problems and them falling down and losing match after match after match. It's gonna come down to this dragon fight, which is coming up in 10 seconds.
We'll have to see where they go. There's the Herald drop down, breaks open mid, and there's a fairly big wave here that Artemis needs to just quickly clear out, so they won't be taking pride of place in the river quite yet. It gets 2 charges. Actually pretty good there. The Azir Tower as well, making Cerberus funnel through the jungle if they want to get near. Nah, is gone, you're right. Hero, they can't see him at the moment. So
still good positioning from Secret. Really good positioning.
Yeah, they've got full control over this.
Cerberus might call it off here. Yeah, it looks like Cerberus is giving up this dragon. Took too much time to clear out this Azir turret, which brought some extra pressure. So, Secret able to stop and hold the dragon snowball. For now, Cerberus choosing to play it safely. They're not a VCS team. They are just here. They are faking their Vietnamese citizenship, because why are we not fighting for dragon every time we can? I'm not sure what we're watching, but Cerberus just playing a very mature style of League of Legends. They decided it's a little too risky to walk into that dragon pit right now, so Artemis is only sitting on 1 item. Let's just scale up and play it safely.
And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Too much sense, in my opinion. Too much sense.
Ooh, a catch does come in onto Artifact. Doesn't work out, though. He just managed to just flash over the wall quickly.
Yeah, Yado's Talia performance, he had this one really good shuffle, but so far all the roams he's attempted haven't really worked out in his favor. It's not like they have to. Talia nowadays scales super well into teamfights, especially into the likes of Na and Sejuani and Rakan who want to dive in. So it's not like he has to do stuff, but it's still a little bit of a quieter, a little bit of a limp performance from the side of Yado, who really is struggling to find his angles.
It's true, but I'm sure they'll get it together. Once the real team fights start coming through, that wall is obviously still super valuable as the game goes on and he gets a little bit more damage under his belt. Looking at the other side, it's someone we should always be talking about when we have Team Secret on the Rift. Artifact on the Azir has the Leandries completed. How does the Azir interact with this composition from Cerberus?
Azir is the one wild card in this team, I'd say, because all the other champs are very short-ranged, very engaged. Like their mind is on engaging, and Azir can be an engager, but he can also be the backline carry, the hyper carry of the DPS, and that can be the one thing that will give Cerberus' composition trouble, especially if you look at the likes of Artemis, who's range is not quite as long as Azia's, so if Artifact manages to stay back and play for DPS, I feel like he could be the main carry in the team fights, more so than Eddie, who's gonna be more of a disruption, trying to set up the feathers and trying to combo, while Azia is just there, putting up the soldiers and being the main damage dealer. So I think that's the interaction of those two champions together, and the potential for Team Secret's composition is quite high. They have so much damage in the late game.
Yeah, it is a hell of a lot of damage. See how it goes. Eddie is not too far away from that 2-item power spike. Is going the Navori, so you don't have to get upset.
Of course he is. He's the best Zarya in the league. He knows how to build Zarya.
Best Zarya in the league, better than Artemis. Okay.
It's his one special champion that I always praised Eddie for. I think his Zarya understanding is really, really good.
Okay. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. But still, it's just a bold call saying anyone's better than Artemis on any ADC. But I don't necessarily disagree, regardless.
Speaking of Artemis, he's cooking. I'm not sure what he's cooking, but he is certainly...
He is cooking. What is he cooking?
Double crit cloak. It's not a bad build. It can, especially if you go IE, but you don't have the money right now to finish IE. Just a little bit of extra crit with all the AD you get for free on this champion gives him more consistent damage. So I guess that's where he's going. It looks kind of stupid though. If you look at his inventory, those double cloaks, I'm not sure where he's putting them. One on each shoulder, I guess.
He's just really cold. He's just got 2. You know, it's like when it's like, 10 degrees in winter and you need 2 blankets.
10. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's cold.
Yeah. Sure. Can relate. It's not 2 degrees right now in the middle of March. Nah. That wouldn't be the thing.
It was 29 degrees today.
I hate you. Freaking 2 degrees. It was freezing last night, by the way. It's March. Can we please get plus 10 degrees now? Where's my buff? Where are my patch notes?
Please, buff Germany weather.
Yeah, honestly.
I think they've been trying to balance that for years and never really managed.
Supposedly coming next few days, but... Speaking of supposedly coming, the dragon fight is coming up, and once again they have a Azir turret right in the middle of that mid lane. A little early this time though. Artemis might be able to cut through that turret with his green gun. No, so far doesn't find the angle. And green-purple is good for catching. It's not great for team fighting, so Artemis might have to go and concede another dragon because his weapon combo is not the greatest. But
he is about to drop this green.
Yep, green is going away.
Yep, so now he has red-purple, not the worst, but they may well give it up and just take this tower.
Red-purple is a setup weapons, it's not hard carry weapons, so if you have another big carry, another big damage dealer in your team, red-purple can actually be quite good, because it's really easy to get purple on a lot of people with red, especially on divers, but you don't really deal the same damage as blue and white, so right now Artemis kind of losing out on the rotation of his own weapons. A rare mistake. We don't really see Aphelios, and especially Artemis on Aphelios, do these kind of weapon rotation mistakes in timing the dragon perfectly, and it's another free one for Team Secret.
Yeah, Team Secret have stabilized. I think the thing to keep in mind is that it's Chemtech Drakes. They kind of suck your way.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the individual dragons are fine.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. What
do they do again? They give you heal and shield power?
When you're below, like, 30... Is it 50% health?
I think that's the extra damage. I think heal and shield power is always. But it's not that big of a deal in this composition, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, they're alright. They're not great. I think the best individual stacks, in my opinion, are still either Mountain or Hextech. I think Hextech is just insane. 9% attack speed and 9 ability haste is so good on every single champion in the league, so... I love Hextech individual dragons, but of course some others are also quite good. Early Ocean Soul, or early Ocean Drake, really valuable for laning phase. This one, I still feel like they need to redesign this dragon. I dislike both the individual effect and I also dislike the soul. Because the soul is completely passive and all the other souls are active. So yeah, I feel like the soul has missed the mark for me. Let's see. Maybe they go back to redesigning this one. At least it's better than the original one.
Just go back to release. Yeah. I still say that original Chemtech Soul wasn't that bad. The revive wasn't that bad. It was strong, but it wasn't that bad. The real problem was the Rift. The Rift was an abomination.
The Rift was I agree.
I think if the Rift if they had this Rift with the Soul, people wouldn't have hated it as much.
I mean, the Soul got nerfed. In the end state, I feel like the Soul was kind of fine. The problem is, once again, they released way too strong, and everyone was still thinking about the release Soul, while they actually nerfed it down later.
I mean the last one.
Yeah, the release Soul was unbelievable.
But the release was on pre-season.
Yeah, that's fair. And Cerberus might have just snuck into Baron while Team Secret was completely unaware. They just cleared the Baron away.
Yeah, walled off, and it's smited. They've just stolen it your way. Highway robbery.
This Cerberus team is so smart. You can't praise them enough. They play a super defensive style of League, which is not the most interesting to watch, but if you look at the intricacies and the way they make decisions together and really are all on the same page all the time, even though we might not like their decisions, their synergy is insane. And this Baron call was so unbelievably smart. I want to know who made it, because Team Secret had full control of the Baron and then moved away, thought, okay, we just cleared the Baron, no way they go for it. Instantly Cerberus collapses, instantly they go for the Baron. First big objective pickup for them in more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, now this mid tower under siege, one more shot from the cannon will take it down. Perfect. And I feel like that one call has really turned this game on its head, at least for the next few minutes. Drakthar, don't die. Whatever you do. He gets into his mist, he's okay.
Hero just had no idea what was on the other side of the wall. It still jumped over. Cool, okay, I think he's getting bored a bit. That was risky. But, I mean, we're looking at 2 against 2 kills in the VCS at 28 minutes.
I know, this is positively LCS levels.
I'm not sure if there's anything positive about that, but yeah.
You can't say LCK anymore. LCK has actually gotten a lot more active. It's not accurate anymore to say LCK is super slow. It's LCS levels.
It's a good old Dignitas against CLG game or something here.
At least we're not as bad as the EU yet.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Oi.
I mean, if G2 can win your league, you can't be that good, right? Your way.
Okay, let's go back to this one.
For any G2 fans out there, don't actually have anything against G2. Just want to get it your way. Don't blame me.
I'm a big Vitality fan now. I don't care about G2 anymore.
You just like perks.
I do like perks, yeah. Well, it seems like Secret
under siege. Artemis with the huge shield because of that Bloodthirster. He is kind of unstoppable. Has an Lantern to keep him safe, and this is starting to break.
Oh, Hero wants to make something happen. He's bored again. Can he find the engage?
He's only on pun. He gets all outed backwards. He just dies. On the other side, they do get
no.
It has a lantern.
No, he can't stay alive for this.
To the backside, they go big all out across the wall. It actually wasn't the first all out. As Wall coming through, doesn't quite work out on the pun. Going for a chase. They get the damage down. Sword will die. Onto the Azir they go. Lovely Cassante play being demonstrated by Pun. Absolutely fantastic from the Cerberus top laner.
This reeked of desperation for the side of Secret. They played so defensively too, but they just knew they were losing the map slowly but surely. After this, Baron Cerberus really off to the first big lead of the game, and it's still only 4K, but it looks like the game is just over.
It does a little bit. It really feels like as soon as Team Secret lost their footing a little bit, they were just unable to regain it. Let's have a look at this replay. It starts with Hero going on an adventure.
And honestly, it looks like Hero is completely isolated from his team, but if you look only on the positioning of his team members, they weren't too far away, but they can't go anywhere close to him because of the Talia zoning, because of Thresh zoning, so in the end, he gets isolated, and look at this damage from Yada and Pun. That was quite insane. Azir also dashes into Talia E, gets stunned instantly, has to defensively ult away, so a series of unfortunate circumstances for Secret, and they weren't even close to team fighting, really. They were just picked off one after the other. A little bit of fun for Pun, who traveled the whole rift with his ultimate. And in the end, Cerberus walk away with a 5k gold lead, another dragon, and mid lane inhibitor tower broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very, very good. A minute and a half on the Baron. Oh, they're going to try and make a play, but it's on to Pun. There's a Lantern as well. Sorn takes a little bit of damage, and now the wall goes up. They can isolate Hero. He's mega, but he's not tanky. Can they get that last bit of damage? In comes the ult and burns him down.
It's not over. Pun is here.
Yeah, they're bored. They want to finish this. As Pun moves forward, Azir ult should put paid to that, though. I don't think they can keep catching. Drakthar needs to be careful. Could get turned on, but...
We do not talk about Yado Flash. Yado has had a bit of fun there. This reminds me so much of something like this Season 7 game of Korea against, I don't know, an A or G or U. Nothing ever happens in the early game, and then team fights happen, the Korean team just wins. This is like, yeah, this is textbook old school League of Legends, and that's exactly what Cerberus is known for. Build strong team compositions around your ADC, play front-to-back team fighting, win every team fight, win the game. It's not exciting, but it's really well played, so what can we say?
Yeah, it's not what we're used to. We have to learn how to cast games like this. 5 years deep into our careers, but but it's not bad. It's good League of Legends, as it's very hard for Team Secret to find a sort of a chink in the armor. That they're now, 4k gold down at 32 minutes. That's not that bad.
It's nothing.
They're also facing down Soul Point. And I just feel like they haven't really been able to get their footing in any fights.
Yeah, big credit to Yado for all his secret zoning in team fights. I feel like he has disabled all of their champions all the time. Yado, yeah, now on the backside.
Yeah, this Baron is low. Is going to start healing. There it is. Pun chunked down pretty badly. They get onto Artemis, but they don't actually do any damage to him. He has that blue gun going. Viego taken down. Hero low. Can they go?
Oh, what? No!
Lovely hook! Straight onto the Azir. Eddie has to use the ultimate just to buy himself some space.
Uh-oh.
But Pun is on the hunt. He's going to take himself some feathers.
Wait, he could win. Maybe.
Come on, buddy. Woo!
That was pretty close. Eddie tried. In the end, Cerberus win again. This one wasn't as convincing, but it might be the end of the game anyway.
It may well be, as Yano takes a bit of damage, but deals even more. But Artemis hitting a tower, it's like he hasn't even been in a team fight, as he is full health, he is thriving, he is moisturized, he is in his lane. As they are on the Nexus, and they are going up 1-0 over Team Secret. Cerberus doing Cerberus things and winning themselves this game.